All right, we're past the intro screen and we are live. Hello, everyone. As I mentioned in previous weeks, we are doing a collaboration stream today with artist David Harper. Say hi, David.
Hey, everybody. Cool to be here.
For sure, for sure, we are going to be using this program called Drawpile, which allows us to use the same canvas at the same time to draw things. And we are going to be going back and forth and drawing our characters. In answer to your question, Pukadami, because this is not an art request stream, we don't have the time redeems because we're not going to be doing art requests during this one. If you'd like to stay and hang out with us, we would appreciate it. Yeah, for sure, for sure. This is the collaboration. Today, we are going to be doing a collaboration on Drawpile, where we both have access to the same canvas, and we are going to be drawing our characters, Shira and the Snooter, in Halloween costumes. Cool, huh? But first, let's go ahead and have David give an introduction. How about you tell us about yourself as an artist and everything?
Not really a whole lot to know. I draw, I animate. I've been doing it for a while, ever since I was a young child. I've had some schooling, uh, got a degree for whatever that's worth, though it was from one of those for-profit schools. So like I got some stuff out of it, definitely. Um, and now I just plug it away on my series while trying to work out something on the finance end.
For sure, for sure. How about you tell us a little bit about your series?
My series is four-person Indiana Jones with a dash of Pawn Stars at the end. It's a fantasy dungeon crawling series where four fantasy characters risk life and limb for treasure in hopes of getting money to pursue their various goals or pay back their various debts, undermined by the difficulty of selling said treasure afterwards. That's where the Pawn Star bit comes in.
For sure, for sure. And this show is called Treasure Takers, right?
Yeah. On my YouTube, I got 2 episodes out currently, and there's a third coming out this next month. Should be November 17th, if I remember what I set it for.
I think it's set for 14th.
Well, that sounds accurate, actually. I knew it was one of the two.
So, for those of you who might want to see Treasure Takers, the new episode come out, it is coming out November 14th. So, today we are going to be drawing our characters, so I'm going to go ahead and start the timer, and you can go ahead and get started drawing your character on the right, and I'll start drawing my character on the left. But this is a good opportunity. How about you tell us about your characters?
Okay. I'll do my best. One of the characters, the character that I'm using today for this thing, is named Shira. She is a character that uses magic. Initially, she was scouted by a couple of wizards who saw her potential and encouraged her to come to their wizard college. She did so, but they didn't fully explain what tuition was, and so now she's just got massive student debt. It's really, really not great. She's kind of down to vibe. She's a little more directionless than the other characters, in that she wants to do something and thinks that magic is cool. But, other than that, she's kind of along for the ride. Another one of the characters' names is Rudari, who's kind of like the leader of the group, who belongs to a very big nomadic family, and is looking to make money not only for his own personal dreams of becoming maybe some kind of hero or famed duelist. He's got like a few different ideas. And he's definitely more for flair and flamboyance. He's also very good with not just languages, but also like the social aspect, which is part of why he is the group leader. He got the other three together originally. Another one of the characters is Brenna, a former Valkyrie, now leading the existence of a mortal after an injustice that she couldn't bear, that left her with an adoptive child to raise. And she did that, but now she wants to help that child accomplish some dreams of her own, and the only way to do that is through a lot of money and sketchy loans. So that's what she's after. She's like the big fighter type of the group. The last person's James, who is this big dude in armor, who wants to live a life free of like people telling him what to do. He has a lot of disgust for like his family and his family's traditions, and has yet to realize that getting enough money so that no one can tell you what to do is actually impossible. Is very cynical and pragmatic, and that runs counter to a few of the attitudes in the group, which causes some tension whenever they're in the planning phase of what they want to do or what they want to go after.
Yeah. I did not know a lot of those backstories. Are they gone over in the comics, or is there some other lore source for these?
We talk about some of that in some of the drawings I've put out somewhere. I don't think that much of this is formalized in the episodes themselves. I mean, they will be, but I've only gotten so far. And also, initially, I had the kind of dumb idea that no, don't talk about your characters. Nobody cares. Just get to like the action part. And so now here I am. Like, it's fine to reveal things later. I still think that's a fine move, but like just last time when I was doing briefs for the other voice actors, I multiple times was like writing stuff that is partly divulged and not divulged, including like a couple of people who had been in the prior episodes, because I was doing James's voice until the most recent one that is yet to come out, when I was like, man, I really should get a proper voice actor for this, and I did. But the other three, there were multiple times where I'm like, okay, so I know this wasn't clear because I just didn't communicate it well or at all, but, and then like additional context for the voice actors who were all cool and were like, oh, thank you, I appreciate this extra context. Yeah, okay, so.
For sure.
If you're like, man, all these cool facts, like, you're not alone. And it warms my heart that you care. I know that like we're friends, but
Well, of course. I mean, the point of enjoying a show and being a fan of a show, I feel, is definitely caring about the characters. So, can you tell us anything about the voice actors? I'm not sure how private they want to be about their identities.
Can't imagine they want to be very private, because like all their names are like in the credits, and man, I got some rock stars, I'll tell you, in that one of them is like, they have a pretty decent social media presence, and they're like in games all the time, like I see them all the time. If I were cool, I would have like one of the games that she's been in, but the person who voices Brenna is like in games all the time and like totally kills it. Like there's an audio drama, some zombie apocalypse audio drama that like got an award a few awards recently, and one of them was for like the acting that she did on like one of the characters. And I'm like, yeah, you're really good. You deserve that. Good job. Um, she's pretty cool. Uh, Abigail Turner, I believe, is her name. And I mean, it's in the credits. I'm not gonna change screens or anything, but there it is. And also another dude, the dude that plays Rodari. They're all good, so I shouldn't say, oh, this dude's good too, because there's no build up to like, and this person is not good. They're all great, which is good because I'm paying them. And I'm not gonna lie, it's really comforting to me when I am looking at my own financial strain and like listening back to the voice stuff I paid for, and I can go, man, this is great. This was absolutely worth it. Feels good, you know, and like it better if you're paying for it.
For sure.
Lucas Martinez, I believe, is the dude that voices Rudari. He does great. He's got like his own audio drama thing that he's doing currently. Like he does other stuff. He's on YouTube with like this Heretical Funhouse channel that does like D&D stuff that's cool. But he also has like another thing right now that I listened to like the first episode of, and it's pretty good. It's like some kind of, I don't know. It's like this dystopian tournament contest. It's kind of like The Running Man, if that's not too old of a reference. But like, I don't think any of them are good people, but they might be. I guess I should continue listening. James' voice actor's new but cool. I don't know very much about them, other than like they're cool and they did a good job. And then Shear's voice actor, I think, has the least presence as far as like online goes, but I mean, still does a good job.
For sure, for sure.
Cool to work with.
So, I feel like that brings up a couple questions I had. Like, you said that Shira is in student debt from a wizarding college. I felt like her design was more of a, like, sorcerer druid kind of thing. Is that the kind of education they have at the wizards college, or is that what she had before?
It is actually not the education they have at that college, and it is the education that they had before. So Shira was actually part of like a tribe, and in the process of like she was apprenticed to her tribe's shaman, so she already had like magic potential in that kind of way, and that's where the initial design comes from. So that's what that is.
So I know we have Dungeons and Dragons terms that we can use to refer to these kind of things, but is there an actual term for what kind of spellcaster she was before she went to college? Yeah, like in your lore.
Mine, I'd probably just call it priestly magic.
Okay. Yep,
Ooh,
it
is
is.
it time to switch? Oh man.
Indeed. Let me just unmess this up and hopefully not be bad at drawing my own character. And let's switch over and take a look. Alright, let's get started. For real this time. Alright, so those of you who are on my stream know that I frequently color code my sketches. And I am absolutely doing that here. And making the closed sketches red. I should maybe not be attempting a witch's hat, because that is difficult. Yeah, so I feel like with Shiera, I'm just like a little surprised that like the tribal magic isn't like comparable to the academic magic, because usually those are presented as well, not viewed that way in society, but you know, kind of equal separate paths of magic, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, actually, no. What exactly are you getting at,
Never mind.
if I
So
may
I think
ask?
it might be a better way to describe it. The way I kind of looked at it was she reminded me of the pyromancers from the Dark Souls lore. And it sounded like she was going to the academies that were mentioned also in Dark Souls lore. I forget what the academy was called, but you know, in Dark Souls you have the pyromancy, where you're just holding a literal pyromancy flame, and then you have actual the actual like academic magic that uses the catalysts. Have you played Dark
Hmm.
Souls? Do you have any idea
I
Huh?
I have not.
Okay, okay. So, no idea what
I'm
I'm talking
somewhat
about.
familiar. I'm starting. I think I think I'm getting what you're angling at, in that you assumed, or you were maybe saying, "Hey, I didn't think that she was getting education in a completely different kind of magic. I thought she was just getting further education in like the magic she does, and it's not like a different school entirely that she's going to Mage's College for."
Yeah,
Is was that your okay? Cool.
something like that. Thank you, Mischief Horn. Much appreciated. Although, aren't the Witches of Izalith also pyromancers? Also, I feel like that's not really. The Witches of Izalith aren't really a school you can join. Like, there's one of them. There is one of them you can find in the game and learn stuff from. Like, towards the end of the game.
Helpful either way.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. Come on, don't mess up this cape.
But
I'm
you know,
cheating
it's
and
like,
adding an extra minute.
hey, you're cool. Come here and learn a completely different type of magic. She's like, I like magic. That sounds cool.
Yeah, for sure. And no one explained tuition. So, as I recall in a recent episode, or at least I remember the comic, Brenna's going through some character development. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I can tell you more than is actually apparent, because why not? That's very true. Something that was actually part of what I ended up talking with like the voice actor recently. I'm like, okay, here's like a heads up because I didn't say this before. Um, After their last job went a little sideways, in part because of a mistake that she made, she is extra determined to
I'm
like
gonna
do
have to
this, but
stop you
also
real quick. We have a Snoot Boop redeem and a Hydrate redeem. So let me turn on the Snoot Boop and grab my water. And give the jug a little shake. And drink some water. Thank you for the Hydrate redeem, Mischief Horn. Sorry that it took so long for me to notice it.
I made an attempt at jangling my thermos. I don't think it came through though.
That's alright. Thank you for stopping by again, Mischief Horn. Much appreciated. Okay, so sorry about that interruption. You were saying?
Not a big deal. He's basically trying to aggressively make up for something that she did wrong, even though like she didn't mean to. Which would have been really cool if I included that in the actual episode. But alas, sometimes you cut poorly, and that happens. So she is normally a like straightforward gung ho fighter type, but now this current adventure, it's going to be dialed up even more, uh, quite likely to her detriment. But we'll see.
Oh my. Um, to an extent, I feel like adding an air of mystery is, in some ways, a good thing. It gives people, you know, room to speculate and wonder
I
what's going
think
to
it makes
happen,
sense.
and there's another reason for them to be coming back, you know, to get some answers.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope that that's how it turns out. You know, you put something out there, you never really know if it's going to catch people or not. Though I also really want to do it regardless, so you know, I'm doing
Hey,
it anyway.
Petras, welcome in, welcome in.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, we are doing a collaboration with David Harper. We are both working on the same canvas right now, as I will be
It's true.
showing in about 3 minutes. You know, I probably shouldn't have tried to correct Mischief Horn on Dark Souls lore, since I haven't played Dark Souls 3, and I bet there's some more information there, but let's see. So, you meet many of the witches of Izalith. Well, yeah, you meet many of the witches of Izalith in the sense that you put your sword through their skulls. Like, that's not the same as actually meeting one and being taught anything by one. And I mean, yeah, there's the dead one you find next to the molten dude. God, he has that really weird name. The Ceaseless Discharge. Yes, Ceaseless Discharge.
I see.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think Quelaag and Quelaag's sister. I didn't think those were those counted as witches of Izalith.
The lore deepens.
Yeah, so that's two you can actually, you know, talk to. And you can only, okay, but like that's the thing, you can only talk to Quelaag's sister if you have the old witch's ring. So like,
I
that's
believe
like
that Friday is
one
going
and
to
a
be the
half
normal
at best
stream,
you can actually
Petra.
talk to. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, I believe Friday is going to be a normal stream, Petros.
Yes, that
Though
is
perhaps I should
correct.
have let you answer that.
No, 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 it's fine. That is correct. I just didn't hear you because I was talking and stuff, but no, that's right. Hey, Foxy Fox. And yes, you can totally save up points here to spend on the Friday stream. Cool, huh? Yes, I know you like saving up points, and now is absolutely the opportunity to do so. Okay, let's see here. 49 seconds. Can I keep stalling? Maybe.
Are you taking a break over there?
No. I was just trying to avoid having to try to attempt the witch's hat. Because
Oh.
those,
Oh man. Oh, oh man. Can't tell you how many times, how often it's like, all right, here we go.
yeah, like the ellipses are hard. That's one of those things that I want to study in the Drawbox program is ellipses. It's like, that's so crazy. It's this shape that is so integral to drawing so many shapes. Like anything that has a curve to it. And yet, like, we weren't even taught about this shape. Yeah, I
Oh.
completely failed to draw it. Yeah, like, we weren't even taught about this shape growing up. Like, they're like, learn a triangle, learn a square, learn a rectangle. And it's like,
I thought you were talking about her wolfhood. Ellipses are also hard, though.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay, time to switch. Sorry I didn't get more done. Let's take a look. Oh, dang, you have a ton of this. For sure, for sure.
I didn't you starting on the costume, so I just started on the costume. So here we are.
No worries,
Uh,
no worries. That's perfectly good.
I'll pull out my trick for the ellipses, which is roughly doing it, and then maybe hoping it's good, and then grumbling under my breath.
For sure, for sure.
Secret artist trick. Actually, it's not true. I'll usually use like the circle tool, and then I'll just modify it, and then if I can get close to something that actually works, then fine, and if not, I'll attack it as best I can.
Let's go ahead and start the timer and get started just now. Definitely weren't working before this. Absolutely not. We wouldn't do something like that.
Certainly.
Yep.
In fact, I'm kind of mad that anybody might think that.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a hydrate from Petras. Thank you so much, Petras. And a snoot boop. Boop.
Oh man, you got that double.
For sure, for sure. Well, I mean, that's the only redeems that are available right now since I have all of the timer redeems temporarily disabled. Let me go ahead and shake the water jug.
Let's see.
And get a drink. Thank you for the hydrate and the boot, Petras. Much appreciated.
You know, when someone said, you mean like healing magic? I should have just said yes. Because that was basically true.
Healing magic, huh?
Well, that's healing, wards, that kind of thing.
What kind of spells has Shira used so far?
So far, none. Or, I mean, in the... Okay, I was thinking about episodes. In, like, just through existing,
I mean, in the comics and or the episodes.
um, hmm... Hmm... Well, across the various media, I know that she has used some type of divination spell because there's this thing that didn't make its way into like the episodes proper, but I really thought it would be funny if like when they were initially dealing with a trap or when they dealt with traps in general, she'd be all like, I really like divination. I'm going to divine whether or not there's a trap. And they'd have to just sit around as she's like looking at bones or flipping over cards. So like technically that exists somewhere. Um, hmm. Oh, I should really try harder to remember because I did something that's not canon unless people just found it and really liked it. But I know that there's like a post-it note comic adventure where they're going through Matt Colville's Delian Tomb, and she had to have cast spells during that. She must have. Oh, ooh, actually, no. You know one spell, and my bias for the spell, because I think it's really cool shows, that she has absolutely cast, is this spell that Matt Colville's company, MCDM, uh, put out like a role-playing magazine with like spells and stuff for 5th edition, and one of them was called Wielding, where you just magically wield a weapon like a sword, like not in your hands, but like by levitating it, and I think it's the coolest stuff ever.
For sure, for sure.
I guess she hasn't canonically cast that yet, but I mean, I like the spell a lot. I think it's cool, and I think she would vibe with it. Most definitely.
And Mischief Form, yeah, the one before the Bed of Chaos that tries to kill you, that is absolutely the one that comes to mind. Aren't there two of them out there, or am I misremembering? Like, I can't remember. I just remember getting attacked by, like, a lot of things, and I could have sworn a couple of those things were Witches of Izalith. It's been a while. Like that whole section of Dark Souls is really cool, but like it's really fast, so I tend to forget a bunch of it. For sure. So what kind of spells do you think you're going to have her casting later on then?
A lot of non-damaging stuff, like spells that like put people to sleep and whatever. I tweeted about it once, and it hasn't formally come up in series yet, but she actually doesn't like the idea of using magic destructively to like hurt things. In fact, like there's a because I think stuff like this is interesting. On the spectrum of like the whole party when it comes to like how cool are you with hurting or potentially killing your foes, she's like at the far end, where out of all of them she's never really fought and she's never really killed, and she doesn't want to. Like even if even in some circumstances other people might think it's okay.
For sure.
And three guesses who is on the far other end, who's like, if you come at me, you come at me.
I would say James.
No, actually.
Brenna?
Brenna is at the farther end. Brenna is like very combat focused and very like used to it, and is like, hey, if you draw steel, don't draw steel without expecting to be killed. James, having had some experience like serving in like a mercenary company in war type stuff, is of the attitude that like it's actually not great. He's fine with defending himself, but like he would prefer not to
Really?
like hurt people. He's fine with it, but like he's not cool with going the other way. In like a role-playing game context where like typically people don't think about whether or not you finish off enemies, Brenna is the type who's like, yeah, of course. James is like, I mean, if they're running, it'd be dumb to chase them. It's not really a big deal. Rudari is closer to Shira in that he's like, nah, like hurting people, killing if you can avoid it, you really should. But they're like, as far as he's concerned, even with monsters, like giant beetles and bugs and things, it's like he doesn't care as much. He's more thinking about like human beings. But with Shira, it's like, no. Even if it's like a slime monster, I don't want to hurt it. Now, damage spells are cool, so like it's not like she's never going to do any of them, but I intend to have her only doing that when she herself is very confident that it's not going to hurt the thing too badly. Like, this is a dragon, okay, it can probably withstand a lightning bolt. You know, if that makes sense.
For sure.
And of course, of them, she has never, like, killed ever. Whereas Rudari has killed for self-defense, James has been on, like, battlefields, so it's kind of the same deal. And Brenna kind of also the same deal, but maybe a little more rough.
So, like, the reason I would say James over Brenna is that, sure, Brenna is very ready to throw down, but I feel like she's willing to throw down because she values life so much. That's the vibe I get from her, you know? Whereas James, I feel like he's just doing this for money, and like his history as a mercenary, and like, didn't he used to have a bunch of money and stuff? I feel like his history with that makes me feel like he doesn't put as much value on life, you know what I'm saying?
That is very interesting, and it would be that makes sense. And one could even say that his respect for like life and like not super gung-ho towards violence comes from a more cynical angle of it's more trouble than it's worth. Like, do we really have to? Versus like an outright value.
Yeah.
That bit about Brenna is pretty interesting, and I don't know, maybe that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it.
For sure, for sure.
None of them are gung-ho murderers or anything like that. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna switch off of the sketch brush and start lining if that's okay.
Okay. I wanted to leave you creative space if you came back to this other side, but I really shouldn't have, so we'll just...
Ding!
Okay, well, whatever.
Alright, let's scooch to the other side and take a look at what we have. Oh, thank Fluff, you made the witch's hat. Okay, this
Yeah, no
still looks
problem.
heckin' cool though. For sure, we got lace on the gloves and a bunch of cool stuff. Alright, I think at this point I need to add her hair. Let me look at my reference real quick for the hair. So, I think I'm gonna do her hair and then start lining. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds totally fine.
So, David, have you played any of the Dark Souls games?
Really hasn't. I have some experience that I started not too long ago playing a FromSoft game, but it's Sekiro. Uh, you know, which is, as it's been explained to me, not really a Dark Souls game because you don't have like builds in that game.
Yeah, for real, for real.
It was like a ninja castle that I wanted to run, and so I thought, oh, this would be a good excuse to go back to this because I constantly miss Tenchu, and I'm constantly going, can I play Tenchu? And the internet goes, it's for the Xbox, so no. And I'm like, I want that though.
Why don't you just emulate it?
Uh, you know, perhaps I should.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Maybe I will.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I definitely know what that's like. I've been playing this old game called Alien vs. Predator Extinction a whole bunch and like have all these world records, and at first I was uncompeted against, but now there's this guy who keeps popping in and like taking my world records, and I'm like, excuse me? So,
Really?
yeah, for sure, for sure. So I've been doing my best to try to keep up with them on some of them. Like, I'm kind of letting him keep the ones for the Alien campaigns, but when he takes one of my Predator world records, I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
Very cool.
Yeah, no. I have a good record on level 2 that I know he won't be able to beat because I have no idea how I did it.
That's the best kind.
Yeah, this game drives me crazy sometimes because, like, you know, you're trying to get a speed run, so you have, like, a technique or, like, this list of things that you do to get what you're trying to get done, but if the enemy does completely different things, then it completely throws off your whole, like, schedule, you know? And your whole run.
Yeah.
And that happens, like, all the time. And so one of these times, I was doing a run, and they did something completely different, like, multiple times. And, like, I've seen them do it before, because I've run these levels, like, a million times, and I've seen every, like, new weird thing they can throw at you. But they did those different things, and I can't get them to do those things, like, predictively. Like, basically, there's 5 dudes you gotta, assassinate. And one of them walked right up to me, and one of them walked into my path, like, shortly later on in the game. And it's like, I can't get that to happen again. But yes, enough ranting about a game that nobody plays or is ever going to play again, besides me.
I mean, the odds are better that somebody watching will have been exposed to that as opposed to my series. So, I mean, you can't be going too wrong.
Appreciated, appreciated. So, what was your inspiration behind Rudari?
I really liked a character from a tabletop campaign that I was in like forever ago, and I was like, you know what, that sounds cool. I like this, but he was also inspired by the Yu-Gi-Oh card Neo the Magic Swordsman. That I like the idea of a magic swordsman, even if he currently isn't a magic swordsman. Like, initially, that's how I envisioned it, and I have posted to my wide audience of like 3 people before about how, like, originally I was like, yeah, Magic Swordsman, that sounds cool. I don't use D&D for like the game system base for my series now, but when I did, I was like, I don't know, there's nothing here that does exactly what I want it to. There were a couple times where I looked at Magic Swordsman types from like other places, and they also weren't exactly what I wanted. I liked the idea initially of someone who used magic to augment their physical abilities, and only that. And a lot of games typically do the whole, no, we're going to give you a ton of choice. I'm like, okay, but one, it's not what I want in this case. And two, I think choice is overrated, and restriction breeds creativity,
For sure.
etc., etc.
For those of you who don't know, this is Neo the Magic Swordsman on screen. Cool, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
I always looked at his 1750 attack, and I read a lot of story into that 1750 that probably wasn't there. I was like, man, this dude's just doing his best. He's trying to scrape by. All the cool 1800 monsters are out there, and he could just barely get up to 1750. You're the guy, Neo, the Magic Swordsman. You're the guy.
I feel
You're
like
the people's
there's...
champion.
I feel like 1500 is supposed to be like the average. That is, your average monster. And like 1700 is a lot of those like advanced monsters where they're not like, legendary or unbeatable yet, but they're super like advanced. And I feel like that 1750 feels like they're the advanced monsters, and I am just slightly better than them. I made a point that I can beat them. It feels like he's trained to defeat them. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm trying to say he kind of feels like a specialized kind of hunter, if that makes sense.
I feel you.
Yeah, I hope I'm making sense. But yes, welcome Grimdraw. Good to see you. Good to see you. Today we are doing a collaboration stream with David Harper. We are both working on the same... Where'd the timer go? We are both working on the same canvas right now using a program called Drawpile. Real quick, I'm gonna show everyone the art I'm working on for Grimdraw. Don't worry, I'm pausing the timer. And then...
Okay.
There we go. As you can see from my sketch layer here, this is what the character is sketched in looking like. This is the original reference image. I'm probably going to have to do extra work on this because I have a bunch of Halloween stuff coming up and I need more content for it. So I'm probably going to have to finish this one ahead of schedule. But here's what we have so far. The Crimson species is a original species made by Grimdraw. If you would like to, go ahead and explain them in the chat. Let me go ahead and run that Snoop Boop from Asylum.
You didn't actually show it.
Oh, my bad. Drop pile. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Here we are.
There we are.
Here is the sketch I have for it. Here's what I have so far for the render. Here is the original reference image, and here is another one of the Crimson species, and we have some lore down here for the world they inhabit. And like I said, Grimdraw, if you want to explain them in the chat, go ahead. Okay, let's switch back to Drawpile.
Tell us your secrets.
For sure. Let's resume the timer. Let's do the Snoot Boop from Asylum. Thank you for stopping in, Asylum. I appreciate it. We're doing something a little different today. We're doing a collaboration with David Harper. And we're both working on the same canvas right now. Let's do your Snoot Boop. Boop. For sure. Now I'm gonna resume the timer and we can get back to it. I think I'm about ready to start doing the, no. I feel like Shira's hair does like this cool thing. Or maybe I'm just projecting and wanting to draw it similar to the hood she normally wears. I don't know. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Because fluff it. Fluff it.
I mean, that's a good instinct. I do what I want in a lot of cases.
For sure.
As well.
Let's try not to make it too much bigger. On the other side. Come on, keep my proportions together.
You know what Drawpile I don't think lets you do?
There's a lot of things Drawpile does not let you do.
I mean, I'm not trying to make, like, excuses here or anything, but I am just now realizing, I don't think it lets you rotate the drawing, and I can't tell you how helpful that is sometimes.
Yeah. I totally, used to rotate the canvas all the time when I first started on digital. Yeah, there is a better version of this called, Magma, but you have to pay to use it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah.
I only have, like, Clip Studio Paint myself because I just happen to have enough money. Well, actually, no. I initially got it from, like, someone I was working with, and then there was a point where I just happened to have enough money to buy a slightly better version. So, like, no. I'm a big advocate of just doing the free stuff.
For sure. I mean, I'm still using, Krita.
Yeah, I recognized it off of a list of programs that I've seen before. Free art programs. I don't know why, but there was a point where I was, like, looking for a free art program, and I remember briefly trying, not Krita, but, like, Fire Alpaca. It's like, how are you doing? Program? And it was like, I'm doing okay. It's like, alright.
Yeah, I started on, I mean, like 10 years ago I was using Photoshop for a bit, but like I didn't even have a tablet then, obviously. So
Jeez.
With my tablet, I started, like, I don't know, 5 years ago on, GIMP 2. And then I switched
I don't mean to interrupt, but there's another hydrate.
Alright, let me go ahead and grab the water jug and give it a shake. Shake, 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 and get a drink from that. Thank you for the hydrate, Mischief Horn. Much appreciated. Good to keep hydrated. And good to have you back. Now that you're popping back in, I was wondering, what is your preferred build on Dark Souls? And yeah, for sure. Went to Krita, never looked back. This recent update with Krita fixed, like, basically all the problems I had with it. I guess my only problems with Krita now are in animation, and obviously it's not really designed for animation.
Oh yeah? What's the trouble?
The trouble is with tweening. Like, if you, for example, God, how do I describe this problem that it has? So say you have, a little face on a red bouncing ball. So, and it's, I don't know, like rotating or bouncing or whatever. So you use the keyframes, right, to set the bouncing ball. Well, first you draw the ball with the face, how it's going to be on the first frame. and then you set the keyframes for the bouncing ball, and then you go to the frame where you want the face to change or it winks or something, and then you try to draw on that frame after it has moved using the tweening from the keyframes. And it will place your brush not where the cursor shows, but like based on the location in relation to where it was in the first frame. So you never have any idea where your brush is actually going to be. So you have to do all your frames first and then do the tweening, and that's the only way I can figure out how to do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
Yeah, it's very just bad. That is just unforgivably bad for an animation program, but obviously it ain't supposed to be an animation program.
Well, it's also possible there may be a different way that you're supposed to do it. I was brute forcing some stuff animating in Clip Studio Paint until very recently when I looked at literally one video and was like, oh, I see. Okay. That's better.
Dex or lightning? Yeah, that makes sense. The first one I played was Dex, but that's because I wanted to use spears, and that is not how most people run Dex. Like, in real life, I like to use spears and pole arms, so that was my specialty. I think I ended up with a scythe. That was super fun. But, for sure. And lightning is fair. I couldn't get lightning to work for like the longest time because I was playing an old version of it on the 360 and Solaire was glitched. But I think I have that fixed now because I plugged in my old 360 using a physical, like, Ethernet cord and downloaded the, God, what is it? Is it Scholar of the First Sin, or is that Dark Souls 2? No, that's Dark Souls 2. But yeah, I downloaded the DLC, and that came with the patch, and I'm pretty sure that fixed Solaire, so I can actually go back and make a lightning build now. God, what is the, is it Artorias of the Abyss or something? That's the DLC? I'm trying to figure it out. I still haven't beaten the DLC. I really should.
That name sounds familiar. You gotta be on the right track at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's the character. He's one of the bosses you fight in the DLC. I just don't know what the DLC pack itself is called. Anyway, I don't have to pay to use magma? Really? I should check that out then, because draw pile is a little bit underwhelming. Like, it does its job, but it is a bit underwhelming. Would you say the same, David?
I would, but part of me is also afraid that's just like only having used it twice, like maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I think I would. Yeah. It is fairly basic.
For sure. I mean, we don't have magic wand.
That's true.
Yeah. We don't have inherited alpha, which is something I use like all the time. Okay. I didn't get that much done. Sorry, I was a little distracted. Artorias the Abyss Walker, thank you, Mischief Horn. But we have a ding. It is time to switch.
Yes. We're back.
For sure. So, are you saying that Rudari only has spells that improve his physical abilities?
Current incarnation doesn't have any spells, but that was the idea initially. Currently, there's only one person that's casting spells of any kind, and that's Shira.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 3 melee fighters and 1 healer?
Actually, Shira currently can't heal. So,
Okay.
3 fighters and a wizard. Anybody who knows me personally would be all like, that doesn't surprise me at all, you do that. I'd be all like, I'll never beat the allegations.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie though. When I initially thought, oh, lacking any kind of thief will make them overcoming traps and things like that interesting, there have been times where I've thought, is it interesting or is it annoying? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, just because there's a thief doesn't mean that getting over traps has to not be interesting. I mean, look at Chilchuk in Dungeon Meshi. Like, every time he actually goes through, well, a lot of the times, obviously sometimes they skip through it, but a lot of the times he takes them through traps. He, like, actually explains how the traps work and how he recognizes how the traps work, and it's, like, super interesting.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me look at my tools.
Man, what a good
Stabilizers up.
series.
For sure. It's like, fluff forbid, we have a fantasy that's not super overpowered. Like, I don't even mind isekai. I don't even mind having a million isekais. What I do mind is how every anime, isekai or not, and their mother is just overpowered, bland protagonist kun gets the harem, you know? And instantly solves everything.
I have been told that is a defining characteristic of isekai. Or at least it is now. I saw a video once where someone cited a bunch of sources and was talking about how isekai was originally a woman dominated genre, and they basically said it's kind of messed up that now it's the opposite, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, actually, that's very messed up now that you bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I
They
definitely
cite
know a
some
couple
classic
of ones.
examples.
Like, we got, Magic Knight Ray Earth and, 12 Kingdoms.
Mm,
For sure, for sure. So that's definitely a thing.
it was a good video.
But, I don't know. I feel like there are some good examples out there of what I would, for lack of a better word, call struggle isekais. And those are the ones I like.
I'm going to be a little critical and say I think you're just talking about stories.
Oh, that's mean, but true. Oh no, I don't have the nose up
I'm with
yet.
you. Western isekai. I feel like I could. What is a Western isekai? What is an example?
Wizard
Grim.
of Oz.
Oh,
And,
that's cool.
Wizard of
And
Oz
woman-centered.
and, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, I guess so. I never read that, so
Yeah.
but I know about it. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
There's this one back in the day that was,
Dude, the Owl House rules. You're correct.
for
The Owl
sure,
House
for
is
sure.
amazing.
Owl House is amazing, for sure.
I haven't finished it, but the next time I'm on Disney Plus, I'll finish it. And I have heard fantastic things about Amphibia, and I am often tempted to actually watch it.
I
And
haven't
what if I
finished
watched
Owl
it?
House either. Next time I'm on some sketchy sites, I'll be sure to finish it.
Mm,
Also, Centaur World.
I've heard of it. Mm. With the Owl House, I finished season 2. Where are you at?
Uh, I think I was shortly after season 1.
Okay, cool.
Maybe like halfway through season 2. I think that's where I was.
Man, what a good show.
For sure.
I ended up watching it because I'd heard a lot about it and was honestly amazed at how much I ended up liking the show. Because, I'm not I'm not immune to liking shows that are children's shows, and if it's a good show, that doesn't matter. But I wasn't 100% sure, and then I watched it and I was like, wow, this is great.
So, I
Very
also
cool.
have heard of this book. I haven't actually read it. I believe it's called A Yank in King Arthur's Court. Like,
I see.
it was kind of the inspiration for that kid in King Arthur's Court that really had nothing in common with the book, but they were just like, hey, this title looks cool, let's make a movie. Um,
Lame.
but let me see if I can find the information on it.
I think I saw like a trailer.
Not the movie, the book.
Okay. Hmm.
Oh my god, they made a movie. I was right. It's by Mark Twain. Mark Twain wrote an isekai. And there's a movie that came out in 1949. Like, this is clearly the weird timeline. Excellent. All right. So, do you have any new art projects you're working on, or are you focusing all of your efforts on finishing the upcoming episode?
Well, the episode's done, so I've mainly just been chilling out and not doing anything, though there is something that I might try to do. Um, I thought it might be cool if I played through an adventure that I made and just like drew like a few poses for like each one of the characters and then kind of did like a solo play kind of thing. And I might do that, if only because I'm not sure how successful I will be in trying to wrangle people into this zombie survival one shot that I wanted to do.
How long is the one shot?
Um, I intended it to actually be truthful in that it would be a one shot. So one session, one 4 hour session, give or take like a break in the middle.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I think it'd be really cool to do it on Halloween, but everybody I know like usually does stuff on Halloween, and I'd feel weird and like I'm imposing, going, hey, instead you clearly want to just normally hang out on Halloween, but what if you played my game though? So I'm like, well, if I just did it myself, clearly the only rational move is to just play it by myself. at home.
Of course.
So, I mean, we'll see. I have, like, a game group that I run stuff for at, like, the local game store, and this week I'm going to ask them, oh, what do you have Halloween plans? To which they will probably say yes. But if they don't, then maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
That'd be
Just
pretty
generally,
cool.
yeah, I think so.
Are you going to put it on your YouTube?
If I make like the solo play thing, yes. I once thought it would be cool to stream it, but I don't know if I will be able to do that. But I don't know, maybe. Solo stream. No one will be there, and also it'll be thematic. It'll be thematic all the way down. So I mean, I know people who probably would do it, maybe if it was on like a different day. Like I have people that I've played online with before that probably would be down. It's also difficult like arranging stuff with people, you know?
Yeah, kind of the reality of being an adult in late stage capitalism in today's economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it was
Do you have any Halloween plans? I'm purely curious in this case.
Mostly my plans, if you can call them that, are just to try to get as much done as possible to have things to be able to post online. So that's about it. But yeah, I actually am like very behind schedule right now. I need like a couple more, and then I need to update my buffer to get the posts ready for the rest of the month. Because like I have one more post, and I think today's the 16th, so yeah, I have one more post tomorrow scheduled on buffer, and that's it, and I need to fix that. And like I do have a bunch of work that I can post. It's just, one of them's a creepypasta, and like I don't have the last panel. I mean more of a creepy drasta than a creepypasta. And I just don't have the last panel for it ready yet. So I haven't posted like the previous ones. And I'm not sure like how to post them on Instagram, because obviously I can't just write the whole a portion, like a whole fraction of the creepy drasta in each like Twitter post, because they only give you so many characters.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what you could do to cheat it? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but sometimes we'll see people take a screen cap of what they've written and, like, post that to get around the limits. If you were able to type it out and then, like, make one image that's like the image plus the text, depending on how much text there is, you might be able to sidestep it that way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kicking myself because I should have been able to turn this into a video by now. And, like, it's supposed to be a little, creepy drastas, those are, like, a legitimate thing on YouTube, and I feel like, yeah.
Videos are hard.
Yeah.
I was actually going to make, like, several shorts in a row, but ended up not doing it because it just took more time than I thought it would. And that's not even a full-fledged video.
No, that's another thing I've been trying to do. Like, I started on one short. It's like, this whole week, like, it's gone from me being way ahead and having tons of buffer and having tons of time to work on everything to this week I have just had no time at all, and everything's been like catching up and running out of time, like, with everything, and it's driving me crazy. Like, this whole week has just, and I suppose last week too, like 2 weeks in a row have just completely undone all of my preparation and all my plans to spend this month focusing on art and nothing but art. And this is supposed to be my sprint where, like, work really hard to really show what I can do without, focusing on a bunch of other nonsense, and instead that's just all I've done is get caught up in a bunch of other nonsense.
Definitely been there.
Yeah.
There was a very long period of time where I would wonder if the secret to me being able to make treasure takers work was if I could get a chance to just focus on it and only it, and would I maybe surpass my limits if I ever got that? And honestly, one, that's just not how life works. Like, other stuff is, at least I personally felt like for me, that's just not how life works. And if I were at the point where I could just focus solely on it, I wouldn't be worried in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, like honestly, for me, I don't want to talk for you, but for me, it really feels like no, working around and dealing with like stuff that gets in the way when you would much rather do work in lump sums is just going to be part of the game. It's just going to be something that you have to deal with. I will want to do stuff, but other stuff will be in my way, and I'll be like, man, can I ignore this? And the answer is no. And, you know,
It
I
just,
guess this is a rambling way of saying, I feel you, that does suck.
yeah. It's just, like, for the last couple weeks of September and for, like, the first couple weeks of October, I really had all the time I needed and all the concentration I needed on my new meds, and, like, I got so much done. And now, like, nothing's leaving me alone.
Well, maybe another time like the one you had
Yeah,
will come again.
hopefully.
I know it doesn't make right now less frustrating, but silver lining wherever you can get it.
Yeah, like, I feel like this happened. Jeez, the spacing still looks bad. What the heck? The spacing reset itself. I specifically turned it down. That's better. Um, but, yeah, like every year I had an idea of how fast I could output art. And like every year I'd attempt to Inktober. And then all of a sudden in Inktober I couldn't even do like a couple basic drawings, and we were constantly doing things, and I was constantly busy all the time. And I'm like, why does this happen every year? And it's like, oh yeah, right, because I'm going to school every year, and it picks up in October every year. That's a big reason. And then this year, it's just a bunch of bullshit and like a bunch of unrelated things that are just like, hey, every October, you're gonna be busy. Sure hope you didn't have any plans. Sure hope this month wasn't important to you. But yeah.
Oh.
So, do you have any ideas you were gonna do other than the, I suppose the zombie thing is a big thing. But yeah, how many, drawings do you think you're gonna have for that?
Hmm? You know, I don't know. 3 characters, maybe like a fight and a fear and a damage pose and like a neutral pose. So I guess it would be like 12, give or take like anything else. Assuming if yeah, assuming I also did drawings. Because something I was also thinking was, what if you didn't do drawings? What if you just recorded the Roll20 you were using and like that's it? Because oftentimes when I get excited about an idea, I'll want to do like I'll want to do something fancy, and that makes it infinitely harder. And I've started wondering if, maybe what if I resisted? What if I resisted?
You mean scope creep?
Um, I don't think it's completely accurate. I'm not adding more. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I feel like there's a more accurate word for it, but in lieu of not being able to think of one, sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the scope creeps like the biggest at the for in my experience, the scope frequently creeps up the biggest at the beginning of the project before you've started working on it and you're done with it and trying to think of ways to slow it down
Slow it down?
or to do less, to get it done with doing less and cut pieces out. I feel like that's just how the experience goes for me when I'm managing my scope for projects. I just remembered that the fill tool actually works, and I've been coloring this in manually this entire time. Okay, I'm gonna hide these sketch layers.
Struggling with like a good color and brush period, so we're probably equal.
Yeah. That was the wrong layer anyway. And I need to pick a different source. Hello, that still doesn't work. Because the
Not been
lines
10
aren't
minutes yet.
closed. We have 1 minute left.
I see.
So it doesn't matter because the lines aren't closed over here. I have to color this one in manually anyway.
Leaning or anything.
"20 seconds left. And we got a ding. Alright, let's take a look. And you're basically done over here. That tracks.
There are a lot of simple shapes.
For sure. Let's see here. What part were you working on coloring when the timer went off?
Messing with the pumpkin when the timer went off.
Oh, I see it now. I see it now.
Halloween is cool. I wish I did a little more for it.
Sorry. Oh yeah, Halloween is cool. I didn't catch the beginning. Yeah, it's definitely... I mean, you know me. I'm sure you're not surprised that it's like my favorite holiday and theme and everything.
I am not. It is a cool holiday.
Yeah.
We got Thanksgiving after. Is a bland, nothing holiday. No offense to anybody that likes it.
Yeah. I think you have to be like excited about seeing your family on Thanksgiving, which I'm sure most people are. Ha 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 ha. But
Don't actually. All you ever hear about is people not looking forward to seeing their family on the holidays.
fair enough, fair enough. Especially nowadays, but it
Yeah, I
also
guess
doesn't
so.
really have much of a theme behind it, you know? It's like
Ah,
turkeys,
mhm.
food, the same fall stuff we had before. Like, there's no Like, not for lack of trying from like corporations and media and stuff, but there's just no Thanksgiving movies that really stand out, you know?
I guess that's true.
Yeah, and it's not nearly as cool of a theme as like Halloween. Like Halloween,
Yeah.
you can watch any horror movie and be like, "Oh yeah, this is Halloween." Like they can not mention Halloween at all, or the movie can take place during Christmas and it's still like thematically appropriate for watching on Halloween. But there's no like Thanksgiving genre unless you count like, I don't know, Hallmark.
Really thought about that. But yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Thankfully, my Thanksgiving, like there's no travel. Like I hear some people travel for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, nah, that must be annoying.
Yeah. I used to.
Everybody's basically up here. Though, man, they really shouldn't put election season so close to the season where you're going to be with your family. They should move that. They really should.
Yeah, yeah. Just call them up and tell them, "Oh, I guess we're delaying it." Yep.
I don't know.
Election's canceled. We'll do it next month.
Thinking about the holiday, but yeah, that'd probably be easier.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just do it later.
Yeah, for
Just do it
sure.
later. Or make it shorter.
I'm not sure how that would work though, cuz like it starts when people start thinking about it, you know? Or when people start like if we moved it to September, then it would just start earlier, you know?
Could also limit like the time period. Like I recently saw someone complaining and saying, "Hey, in other countries, election season doesn't last nearly as long as ours does. We should like take a cue from them and have it not be as long as it is."
Yeah.
So like if we shortened it, I'm sure there's wiggle room somewhere in there.
Maybe.
Like it doesn't take a great toll on me. I don't stress about it as much as maybe other people do. Um, but like, couldn't hurt if like, you know, we made it a little shorter. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, something like that.
It's the fall, and then winter, and we'll be back to summer. I'm gonna be an election worker again. I did election work for the primary, and now I'm gonna do it for the proper election.
Oh, dang.
Probably gonna be the most money I make all year.
Dang, you're getting paid for it? That's so cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Uh-huh. Ensuring democracy. Personally.
Yeah, it's true. I am a direct hand in getting people their ballots and stuff.
That is awesome and possum.
Mm, I won't lie, I'm a little nervous about it though. Like, I'm sure it'll be fine, but yeah,
Seems like a dangerous year to be doing it.
it does.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, the primary was fine, so it'll probably be okay.
Yeah. I mean, even then, like, what are the odds someone's gonna do something in, don't want to say where you live, but you know, a small town like that.
I don't really care. And yeah, what are the odds? Probably not great.
Yeah.
Probably fine.
So, David, did you do anything cool for Halloween last year?
No. Like some friends of mine got together, but for whatever reason, I was really moody. So like, I hung out with friends, but I definitely wasn't fun to hang out with.
That's a shame to hear.
Eh, it was okay though. I'm not sure if we're doing anything this year. Like I asked and was told, I don't know, maybe. And I was like, all right, that's fine.
For sure, for sure.
A comedy horror isekai. I don't think I've seen something like that.
There
Cool.
is a, what's it called? A lit RPG that is a horror isekai. Like, I haven't read it because the only books I have access to are, like, books on Libby, and it hasn't, come to Libby, but yeah, I see it advertised all the time on, like, Kindle and Amazon and stuff. There's, like, this horror isekai that's, like, kind of, I don't know, gothic, Alice in Wonderland, scary kind of theme, I guess.
Never heard of it before.
Yeah. Let's see here. I
Sure,
made.
it's good.
Let's see here. Grimdraw said, I made them for a story that I want to work on. I intend to make it a fantasy, comedy, horror, isekai. That sounds awesome, and I would love to see that, because I would love to see more horror isekai. So, what would you say is your favorite Halloween movie?
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, there's one answer in my soul, and it's the Disney original movie Halloween Town.
Fair enough, fair enough. That's definitely a classic.
What about you?
Me? Huh. There's so many to choose from. I mean, Silent Hill is definitely not. I'd probably have to say Silent Hill probably, but if you want to go something that actually has Halloween theme, then Trick or Treat.
So you liked the Silent Hill movie?
Yes, I did not like the second one, but I mean, no one liked the second one.
Nobody liked either of them.
What? No, the first one was amazing. I love it.
Okay, is that like the common consensus?
I I mean, you say
Like, it's
that.
cool that you like them, but I said I didn't think people liked either of them.
Okay. Like, you say that, but I feel like every horror movie gets, like, bad reviews because just, like, nobody likes horror. And nobody,
Feel like
like,
that's correct.
huh?
I feel like that's correct.
Yeah, like, everyone who does normal reviews for movies is gonna watch a horror movie and be like, oh, this was stupid. It was scary. There were just, like, jump scares and gore and spooky stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. Like, not every scary movie has to be the Babadook, you know?
Yeah, I feel it.
And now I have to find a different color. I'm gonna go with this one. And hope that shows up different enough. I'm on the wrong layer. Hide the layer, Kronk. Wrong layer.
Classic blunder. Or you can draw it if you don't end up on the wrong layer sometimes.
For sure, for sure. Let's see here. So now that your current episode is done, what is the next step in Treasure Takers?
Basically, just making the next episode. I'm gonna take the script that I have, and I'm definitely going to rewrite and refine it and just start the process again.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So, I mean, very technically, the next thing that I'm going to do is make, like, a proper, like, playable PDF of, like, the room that they're going through to release with the episode when it comes out, because I have not formally done that. But, like, as far as the next episode goes, I'm just gonna take the script, rewrite some parts to reflect some changes that I want to make sure that I don't have more dialogue than necessary, because that's money, and, gotta be careful.
For sure.
And then I'll...
Do you voice any of the characters on the show?
Not anymore.
Huh, yeah, I was surprised about that. Why did you stop voicing? Which character were you voicing before?
James.
That's fair. Why did you stop voicing James?
It sounded good. It sounded bad. It's like, man, I should not have done this.
No.
Like, if you didn't think so, then thank you. But it was like, listening to it, I'm like, man, this needs a proper voice actor and not me. So I got one.
Why did you, when you were initially voicing James, why did you choose him to voice?
Because I thought I had a decent James voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to, where the voices changed over and see if I can find it. Because I don't remember James sounding bad or anything. Although I'm sure, I forget his first name, but Martinez, I'm sure he's, good at what he does.
Sorry. James is like the person I got recently, so the new episode will be the first time James has a proper voice actor.
Okay, so the Martinez guy voices Rudari and not James?
Yeah.
Okay, I got those mixed up. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's okay.
Okay. So, are we going to be able to see any shorts or character art in the next couple months before the new episode comes out?
Maybe. I thought that it would be a good idea if I made little shorts that were the characters interacting with one another, because people like that kind of thing. And I was like, man, that'd be really good promotion for the episode. I should do that. I have a couple of ones that I could make that I so far just put up somewhere as sketches. So maybe. I would like to do that, and I plan to do that. So you should see a couple.
That'd be cool, that'd be cool. I mean, you could also do more comic dubs.
I kind of did the... Gargoyle Keep Kai was basically a comic dub, and it got views, but not much else. It's actually quite demoralizing.
Really?
Yes. There's a whole Gargoyle Keep abridged that's just like out and on my channel, because there was a time where I was so frustrated with not putting stuff out quickly that I was like, what if I did this instead of animating it? And I was like, wow, this is easier to produce and faster to produce, but I want my series to be animated, so no. But also, like, it only, like, people saw it, but people didn't like react to it. I'm like, that, I feel like, I mean, in general, I feel like shorts aren't a good medium for anything other than funny joke type stuff. Even though the person that I was inspired to try this out was doing like an ongoing narrative thing, but the backing was a kind of funny joke backing, and I think that might have been the difference. I forget their name, but there's some guy that I was seeing a lot of on Instagram who had these fast food mascots that were in like an anime style tournament. So it's a silly premise inherently, even if like there was storytelling going on. And it was like, sometimes I see people do stuff and I want to copy them because that looks cool. And then I do. And then I'm like, okay, that was fun.
For sure. Yeah, this is a shame those didn't, take off more. You know what? Hold on. This brush is defying me. Okay, you know what? Just a second. Let me go grab that Gargoyle Keep. Treasure Takers, back. Playlists. Gargoyle Keep Kai. There we go. For those of you who want to check it out and give us your opinion on if you think this would be something you'd want to see, if it could be produced more often, here's Gargoyle Keep Kai. Let's do this color for sure. That almost worked. And then I just have to
Make short. I mean, you kind of talked about it already, so I guess I should ask, what kind of shorts were you gonna make?
Well, I'm trying to find ways to convert my art into shorts as quickly as possible so I can actually put them out reliably, because putting them out reliably and consistency and all those things, blah blah blah, the only way they ever get seen. So what I was kind of thinking is, I would like to learn Blender, but in the meantime what I was doing in OpenShot is just kind of, so I was taking like a piece of the time lapse and like having like that to the music for a second, and then like in time with the music jumping to another part of the time lapse, and then just having the finished version hop around on screen for a while. But like when I did it last time, the movement was too jarring, so I have to redo it so that the ending isn't so nauseating to look at. So it needs to be a lot more subtle than it is. Does that make sense?
Us. But I see people just upload just normal art time lapses all the time. So I don't think you need to make it fancy to like do it.
I also I'm always researching different things about this, and like the thing they always suggest is never upload time lapses, because they are terrible for the algorithm for like several reasons. One is like half the time you show the drawing in advance, so people already know what it looks like before you start the time lapse, so like there's a mistake. Two, it goes on for like a minute and people are used to seeing things for like 10 seconds, and everyone does time lapses and everyone's sick of drawing time lapses, so there's not much, or everyone's sick of looking at time lapses, so there's not really a much of a market for it anymore. And like you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You either make the time lapse go super long and like people lose attention, or you have to make it insanely fast, just unpleasant to watch, and it jumps around too much. So, like, I'm trying to get a compromise and just, like, have, a lot of songs have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, drop the bass, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, one layer, the next layer, maybe one layer after that, and then drop the bass and show the whole thing. So that's the simple thing I'm trying to go for. I just haven't been able to implement it. Insert more complaints about me not having time this week, for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I guess that all makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that I don't watch the time lapses. I see them, but I'm not interested in watching them. Though I thought that maybe I was in the minority.
No, I think a lot of people don't like watching time lapses. But yeah. It's tough, because, like, I really have to find a way to put myself out of the mindset of an art creator and try to put myself into the mindset of an art consumer and try to figure out what they want and not just what I want,
Yeah, I suppose so.
Alright, we are back from break and we are gonna take one more turn. Let's start the timer and let's switch back.
Okay. Something in, but it didn't fill in, so okay, fine. I'll just do my best. Though isn't that what I am constantly doing? My best.
Uh-huh. If only the world would let that be enough, like, more than once or twice in our lives.
Something. I need something. I don't think it will let me know. I don't know why I'm whispering. I need something. Won't let me. Fine. Fine, I guess.
What you looking for?
Shira's hand never actually got drawn, and I was trying to, like, turn on whatever layer had that, but I don't know. It's not letting me do it.
Right, cause it,
So I was about to just do it myself, but if you want to help me out, that's also fine.
Sure, no problem. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? No. Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay, found it. I'm gonna turn this down to 50%. Is that good?
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Still don't know why it, doesn't let you adjust opacities. That's so annoying.
The outsider, and it wants me to remember.
Yeah.
Like, I do remember. Draw pile, I do remember. I guess Wendy's has some Krabby Patty meal or something.
Like the SpongeBob thing?
Yes. Striking while the iron is ice cold.
I know, right?
Can't tell you how many times I feel that way about like stuff that I see. Like, why? Now?
For sure, for
Okay.
sure. I remember they did the. I feel like SpongeBob. Oh my god, I have the wrong tool. Hold on. I feel like SpongeBob is just kind of a Wendy's brand thing that they still have from back when they did the square buns thing with Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Almost certainly correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like Wendy's is just like in just such a great position because they were, recently bullied into not doing their price gouging. It's just like who would want to go there after, we caught you.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing that online, being like, wow, that sounds like it sucks.
Yeah. I'm glad we managed to bully them into not doing it.
What? Losers.
For sure.
Man, I remember one time where I wasn't necessarily happy to see the promotion, but it's the biggest reaction I've ever had to something like that. And it stems from the fact that there's this show that I saw on Netflix called Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts, and I'd never seen any like advertising for it anywhere. So one time when I saw that like Carl's Jr. had something about it, I was like, wow, I never hear about this anywhere. Not
Yeah.
necessarily for like the whatever you're doing, but like, man, that show's also really good, and I wish it got talked about more.
Agreed, agreed. I saw my ex-roommates watching it once and it looked really cool. And I never got around to watching it myself, but it looked really good.
I think you would like it.
I think so too.
3 seasons. Just came in and out. And I only really knew about it because somebody I follow on Instagram was talking about it in the first place.
For sure.
It's actually weird. The 2 times that I've been, like, doing mentorship type stuff with, like, high school aged kids, I always feel weird because I I don't want to encourage anyone who doesn't already, because both of them were like, no, I don't have a social media account of any kind, and it feels weird to encourage people to get on social media who have not already, but like there's genuinely a lot of things that like I wouldn't know about or wouldn't pick up on if not for having heard about them through social media.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous, you know what I mean? Especially for younger people.
Yes. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. It's like they actually put like numbers on like how many seconds you can watch TikTok before you are like chemically addicted to it. So like that's scary kind of stuff.
But also being an artist. Part of being an artist is having a social media presence to begin with. Which is another thing that like I want to say that, but I'm also gonna feel weird encouraging someone getting on social media, period. Even though that's why I'm on social media. I wouldn't have bothered with it if I wasn't told, no, that's part of being an artist, having a social media presence, you have to. And it was like, okay, fine. student that I'm currently mentoring has his own series that he's working on.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He's also very impressive. Like, the last person, like, hadn't really animated at all, but was, like, interested in it. This dude has legit animated, and has a YouTube channel with more, like, views and interaction than mine. And while there's definitely, like, very obvious rough patches if you look closer, and not to build myself up, but, like, I kind of know what to look for beyond just, ooh, you've made things move, like, at all. But nonetheless, he's still pretty cool, pretty impressive, and I've been thinking about some valuable teaching or instruction that I could lend, and I've been thinking, man, maybe I should just make this semester about, like, him getting a trailer in order for a series, because, like, he said that he'd been working for, like, 6 months, and he'd only put together, like, a teaser, and I just have an abundance of experience trying to make my own series, and I think he would benefit from at least some of it, if
Agreed,
not all of it.
agreed. You're definitely the right person to be mentoring him right now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad I could help. Like, where I'm at, if you're looking for somebody, if you're looking for an animator for your internship program, the list has to be one person, and it's me.
For
So I
sure.
just like to help in general. In fact, last time I had this big lecture that I was going to give that was going to kick off my official reorientation to, like, working solely on, like, a trailer for a series, and then, like, he got sick and we didn't meet that day, and I was like, man, but I got all psyched up. I had so many references I was going to make to explain my stuff. I was going to be the most teacher I'd ever been, if only because I'd be rambling a lot about stuff, and maybe making references that would hit or miss. But I guess there's always next time. And that there's literally next time.
Uh-huh. That's true.
In fact, we usually do it Wednesdays, but because the school's on break, like, I didn't do it today.
That makes sense. Let's see here. Don't mind me, I'm just getting a couple things set up for... do you need another minute?
Nah,
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's fine.
That didn't work. That didn't work. I'm on the wrong tool, aren't I? Alright, just in time. There is a ding right now. I'm gonna try to do something real quick. That's not working. That's really not working. I'm just gonna try to throw in a bit of a background real quick.
That might be what you were doing.
Yeah.
Which, like, cool.
Nothing crazy or ambitious. Then we get the spray tool.
Abstract shapes, gradient.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I see that you're doing something that's not that, but, like...
No, it is basically just that. Literally just that. Because we are wrapping up now. I'm going to go ahead and erase it on the parts that we did white, because obviously we didn't put any white behind this. Oops, that is the wrong button. Erase, erase, line, tool. Just wrapping this up real quick.
Fine. Just some white. Put in my character size real quick.
Oh, that actually... Alright, that saves me some trouble. Excellent. I think we are... Wait. This layer is not quite orange enough. Tool. Give me line. Give me recolor. And let me just make this oranger than it is. That didn't work out. One more layer. Fill. Tool. Current layer. That's not right. Hey Video Game Andrew, we were just wrapping up. I'm doing pretty good today. We had a good time with David Harper, talking about lots of cool stuff. And this is what we drew. We were both working on the same canvas today and going back and forth and working on our characters. On the left, as you can see, is me, the Snooter, in a pumpkin costume. And on the right, we have Shiera, which is a wizard from David's series Treasure Takers, who casts supportive magics and non-damaging magics. Yeah. Problem solved. There we go. We are done. Thank you everyone for coming in today. I think it's time to raid out now. Indeed. I hope you enjoyed this stream. It's a little different from my normal thing. Yeah, this was David Harper. This is your last chance. I am posting his information in the chat, both his Instagram and his YouTube. Thank you all for coming and supporting us today. And I hope to see you next time. Night-night.